Confidence is one of the most vital traits for success. And yet, both overconfidence and underconfidence have the power to steer us off course. If anything, this tells us one important truth: the real strength lies in balance. But how do we know where we stand on this scale? When are we simply being confident, and when have we slipped into self-doubt or gone too far into arrogance? The lines between these states are often thin, subtle, and easily missed. But the good news is they can be identified, and once recognized, they can be recalibrated. How do we recognize the states? Underconfidence, confidence, overconfidence. Let's start with underconfidence. You might have prepared yourself. You may have past achievements that prove you're capable. But despite that, you hesitate. You second-guess your worth. You doubt yourself even before trying. You avoid challenges for fear of failing. These are clear signs of a mind that's not in sync with its own strength. Now contrast that with true confidence. A confident person does not run from challenges, they prepare for them. They believe in the value of effort. They understand that success is growth and failure is a lesson. If they succeed, they briefly acknowledge the win and then move on to their next goal with grounded humility. If they fail, they reflect, learn, and re-engage when the next opportunity arises. They carry a quiet certainty that no matter the outcome, they are better for having tried. But then there's overconfidence. This is when a person begins to treat challenges lightly, skipping preparation, leaning only on past success. They may belittle others who struggle with the same task. Even if they succeed, they celebrate not just the win, but do so in a way that puts others down. Overconfidence thrives on comparison, on ego, on proving superiority, and that's where the fall begins, because it blinds a person from seeing the full picture, including the effort, context, and humanity in others. Having considered all that, one may still ask, we live in a world that ranks people constantly through grades, titles, metrics, and milestones. So, if the world is always comparing, why shouldn't I see myself as better than others? Here's the truth. Most ranking systems measure a narrow slice of ability under specific conditions. They don't take into account individual life circumstances, emotional resilience, background, or inner potential. They don't capture the full story of a human being. So when someone becomes blinded by their position in a ranking and begins to look down on others without understanding what others might be facing, they are not showing confidence. They're showing ego, pride, and a lack of empathy. The satisfaction that comes from making others feel smaller is the beginning of a person's inner disconnect and ultimately their downfall. Now here's the empowering part. If you can recognize that these traits, self-pride, inflated ego, or manipulative superiority, exist within you, you are already halfway to healing. Awareness is the first sign of transformation. However, these surface traits are often accompanied by subtler patterns, being too self-focused, overly individualistic, sometimes selfish without realizing it. You may not always notice these, but if you truly want to grow, you must be radically honest with yourself. You must observe your thoughts and behaviors without filters, because only then can you begin to shift. At a deeper level, these traits reflect energetic imbalances. Ego and pride usually signal blocked energy at a specific level of the self. The balanced version of this energy shows up as stable self-esteem and constructive analytical engagement. In other words, the antidote to inflated pride is purposeful intellectual effort, something that challenges your mind yet humbles your spirit. This can take the form of analytical thinking, solving complex problems, engaging in thoughtful reviews, or research-based work that sharpens your focus and fosters personal development. Meanwhile, those hidden traits, like being overly self-centered, often come from a lack of energy at another level. And the balanced state of that energy is compassion. Compassion for others, compassion without seeking validation, compassion without needing to be seen. How do you develop that? Through quiet acts of kindness, especially those that go unnoticed. Help a stranger, support someone anonymously, lend a hand without taking credit. These actions create a flow of energy that grounds you and reconnect you to something greater than yourself. And now comes the most important part, discipline. To truly transform, you must commit to practicing new thoughts and actions again and again until they become part of who you are. Every time an arrogant thought shows up, pause. Every time you catch yourself seeking superiority, redirect your focus. Replace the need to compare with the desire to grow. Engage your mind in meaningful challenge. Feed your heart through quiet service. And when you falter, don't judge. Just recommit. The combination of analytical engagement and acts of compassion will help restore your internal balance. But it is your discipline of thought, intention, and action that will anchor this transformation and keep it sustainable. If you're listening and realize that your struggle is more with underconfidence than ego, that's okay too. There's another path designed just for that challenge, one that explores despondency, low self-esteem, and how to rebuild belief in yourself. Feel free to explore that content as well, because no matter where you are on the spectrum, there is a path forward. Balancing confidence isn't just a mindset, it's a lifelong practice. These are among the toughest inner battles we face as human beings. But victory is possible. With the right intent, the right tools, and the right discipline, you can reshape not only your behavior, but your entire way of being. And when you do, you'll find that true confidence is never loud, never aggressive, never in competition. It's quiet, steady, and deeply rooted in the knowledge that you are growing every single day. This is the path of self-healing. This is the path of true success. And in the end, every step is worth it.